Welcome to Jets This Week. I'm Gary Lawless. This is Tim Campbell. Let's do away with the pleasantries quickly. Did Santa make it to your place?
Excellent. How about your place?
Well, he came for some of us. For others of us, we weren't on the nice list. We were on the naughty list this year. We are on the verge of getting into very close to the second half of the season. The Jets have 38 games, I believe, now in the books, and recently they've been very hot despite having a spate of injuries. Top four defensemen and now Evander Kane, 5 regulars out of their lineup, and I think that started to show a little bit in the first game against Minnesota, but in particular in the second game in Minnesota. The depth has been challenged with the Winnipeg Jets. They are playing with a lineup that is, I think you could classify 4 or 5 of the guys they're using right now as depth guys back and forth, American Hockey League, the National Hockey League players, and that's tough to win every night in the NHL like that.
Well, it is, and I agree with you. I think you were a fool if you thought they'd get through all these injuries to, later January, early February, and not have any, bruises to show for it. So, in my view, I think the next 3 weeks are going to be really important here, just to be in survival mode, to not, go completely into a big spin. There'll probably be some tough nights like Monday night here at the MTS Center, and they're going to have to find a way to continue to kick and scratch and claw and get some points like they've been doing in most of December. So I see this with the schedule being difficult, maybe through to the All-Star break or just before. I think the Jets, it's going to be a really important time to see if they can sustain something and then get healthy.
8 games above 500 after last night's loss, 19-11-3, I think is the record, or something like that. And that, to me, if they can get through the next 3 weeks at 500, not their overall record, but have their record over the next 3 weeks right around 500, I think that will set them up to, have a push towards the playoffs when they get the rest of their lineup together. 95 points seems to be a number that people think would get a team into the Western Conference playoffs, and that is, I think, 13 games above 500. So 8 now, if they could stay at 8 above 500 until they get the rest of their lineup back, and then have 5 or 6, 7 to make up down the stretch, that's a possibility.
Well, I think it is. It's certainly not unrealistic, like some of the numbers we probably rolled around at midseason in the past, where it would take something like a miracle run to get in. I see the base they've established as really setting a good tone going forward. I really can't think of a reason why they would just turn into something else, despite their injuries here for the coming second half. They've established some consistency and some willingness on the ice to be battling nightly. It's not 1 week in, 1 week out. So I don't know why they just go and change for the second half. I think all of that sets them up for a great opportunity here in the second half. Whether they'll pull it off, that's unknown, but I think they've really, really set the table well for themselves.
Yeah, they've become a much better possession team. Their goals against is near the top of the league. They've done a lot of those things are foundation things that you can rely on now when you're in times of trouble and your lineup is depleted. So, and Paul Maurice said on Monday, to him, the biggest thing that they've established is a willingness to compete on a night in and night out basis. And if that doesn't wane over the next little while, I think that they can be a 500 team until their lineup starts to look a little more like the one Kevin Cheveldayoff put together prior to the season. So we'll keep an eye on that.
We will, and I'll just add one other quick thing. I mean, one of the things that's going to get them through these next few weeks, that has gotten them through to this point, is their goaltending. And even again last night, it wasn't Michael Hutchinson's deal to win or lose that game. He actually kept them in a pretty ragged game. I think here's a great opportunity for both Andrei Pavlik and Michael going forward here in the next 3 weeks to maybe keep them afloat.
Excellent stuff. I'm Gary Lawless. He's Tim Campbell. Santa saw him, skipped me. We'll see you next week.